239 people, and then suddenly, the plane vanished into thin air. No mayday call, no crash signal. Where did MH370 go? Was it hijacked? Did the pilot crash the plane on purpose? Or was there a much darker secret hidden inside that flight? Today, we're about to uncover the mystery. A mystery the world has been trying to solve for over 10 years. March 8, 2014, Kuala Lumpur International Airport. MH370, a Boeing 777, was on a routine flight plan, a direct journey from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. Everything seemed perfectly normal. The weather was clear. The systems were fully operational. The crew was experienced. There was nothing unusual. Until that one moment arrived. The moment that changed aviation history forever. Good night, Malaysian 370. These were the final words co-pilot Fariq Abdul Hamid spoke to Kuala Lumpur Air Traffic Control before switching off the radio. A calm, formal goodbye, but no one knew it would be the last time his voice was ever heard. Up to that point, everything was normal. On the radar, the flight appeared smooth. But just seconds later, the system detected something strange. MH370 had suddenly changed its course. The plane made a sharp turn, veering off from its path to Beijing and heading back toward Malaysia's west coast. Then, it flew over the Strait of Malacca and silently slipped into the darkness of the Indian Ocean. This diversion wasn't part of the flight plan. No permission was requested. There was no emergency signal from the cockpit. No mayday call. No technical warning. Nothing. Was this a hijack? Was the autopilot deliberately reprogrammed? Or something else? After that, everything suddenly went silent. MH370's signal vanished from the radar. Dead silence on the radio. Through the satellite communication system in Marsat only, a faint handshake signal kept coming. But voice? Coordinates? Nothing. Air traffic control was confused. Nearby planes tried to make contact, no reply. Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand, every country's monitoring agencies confirmed. Flight MH370 had simply disappeared. A modern, fully equipped jetliner, carrying 239 people, vanished as if it dissolved into thin air. Within hours, panic erupted. Within days, global media declared it the biggest aviation mystery of the century. And for the next several years, the world's most advanced satellites, ships, and search teams kept chasing the answer to one single question. What really happened in the final moments of flight MH370? When M370 vanished, the world was left with only questions, no answers. And when the truth stays hidden, the door to imagination swings wide open. Some theories were basic, and some were so horrifying, they could shake the human mind. First theory, mechanical failure. Did the systems of the Boeing 777 fail? Did the cabin depressurize, causing everyone to lose consciousness, while the plane kept flying on autopilot until it ran out of fuel? But the real question was, if it was just a system failure, then why wasn't a mayday signal sent from the cockpit? Second theory, hijacking. Some experts said the plane was hijacked. Maybe someone took control of the cockpit. But no terrorist group claimed responsibility, and no ransom was ever demanded. So if it really was a hijacking, what was the purpose? And then came the most chilling theory, pilot suicide. Investigators examined Captain Zahari Ahad Shah's home flight simulator. and they discovered a flight path eerily similar to the one MH370 followed in its final moments. Was that just a coincidence? Or a planned act? The search for MH370 wasn't just an investigation. It had become an obsession. Australia, China, and Malaysia joined forces to launch a search operation in the remote southern Indian Ocean. Sonar mapping vessels scanned every inch of the seabed. Aerospace and defense experts were brought in to decode satellite data. An underwater drone named Bluefin 21 went as deep as 4,000 meters. But still, all they found was silence. Once in a while, a piece would appear flaperones, wing fragments, found on the shores of Mozambique or Reunion Island. But there was no direct proof that they belonged to M370. It was like chasing a ghost in the deepest parts of the ocean. Even after years of investigation, no solid conclusion ever came out. There was data, fragments were found, theories were made. But the truth is still like a black hole. It pulls everything in, but gives nothing back. Did the pilot deliberately crash the plane? Did someone use technology to make the aircraft completely untraceable? Was there some secret cargo on board that led to the entire aircraft being made to disappear? And the biggest question of all, even if MH370 did crash into the ocean, why hasn't its wreckage been found after all these years? The world's most advanced radars, satellites, and naval fleets came together, yet all they found were more questions. And it's this very uncertainty that turned MH370 into more than just an aviation mystery. It became the unsolved enigma of the modern era. When satellite data indicated that MH370 had turned towards the southern Indian Ocean in its final moments, the entire focus shifted to an uncharted battlefield, the deep sea. This region was one of the most remote and hostile places on Earth. No landmarks, no air traffic, just millions of square kilometers of endless, featureless water. Under Australia's lead, search teams launched an unprecedented operation. Advanced vessels like Go Phoenix and Fulgro Discovery began sonar imaging and ocean floor mapping. Bluefin 21, a torpedo-sized autonomous underwater vehicle, was sent as deep as 4.5 kilometers into the ocean. But every time, only silence. Down there, either something was waiting or there was absolutely nothing at all. Then, years later, a breakthrough finally came. On the shores of Reunion Island, Mozambique, Madagascar, and Mauritius, a few aircraft fragments were discovered. Among them, the most crucial was a flaperon, a part of the Boeing 777. Experts matched its serial number. Malaysia confirmed it. Yes, this belongs to MH370. But these fragments weren't just bringing answers. They were raising new questions too. Did the plane suffer an in-flight disintegration? Was the impact smooth or violent? Did this debris keep floating for years, drifting with the ocean currents after the crash? Each fragment was a silent witness, but its voice could not be heard. These pieces told only part of the story, but the full story was still missing. The search team spent over $280 million. After 4 years of relentless effort, the official search was suspended in 2018. It was one of the most extensive search missions in the world. And yet, no wreckage, no black box, no cockpit recorder, no bodies, nothing. When a plane disappears like this, in the golden era of modern aviation, it's not just a tragedy. It becomes a psychological wound. Relatives still stand in airport terminals, tears in their eyes, photos in their hands, asking, "Where is my son? Where is my husband? Where is my daughter?" and the world has no answers. This is the kind of mystery that doesn't just bring pain, it raises a question over all of humanity. How can something so big, so real, just vanish into thin air? After MH370 disappeared, the ones who were shattered the most were the families of those on board. Parents, siblings, wives, children, just waiting for a phone call or a breaking news bulletin. Every day, their lives began with a new kind of confusion. Will we learn something today? And every night, they went to bed with a haunting thought. Maybe we'll never know anything at all. In airport waiting lounges, people held cards with the names of their loved ones, tears in their eyes, and only one hope in their hearts, that maybe a miracle would happen. Some protested. Some cried outside the Chinese embassy. Some lit candles outside Malaysia Airlines headquarters, remembering the ones they lost. But the most heartbreaking thing of all was the uncertainty. No body, no grave, no proper goodbye. This wasn't just one country's grief. It was a tragedy the whole world felt. Airlines rechecked their systems. Questions were raised about radar and tracking technologies. It was a chilling reminder that no matter how advanced our tech gets, if someone truly wants to make a plane disappear, it's still possible. MH370 shook the world. It proved that even today, humanity is helpless when nature or destiny decides to block its path. Even today, when a plane goes slightly off course or loses contact, people ask, is this another MH370? It's no longer just a flight number. It has become a symbol of mystery, of grief, and of human restlessness. MH370 left a permanent void in the aviation industry. But more than that, it created an emptiness in people's hearts, a space filled not with answers, but with endless questions. And the most terrifying thing, even today, no one can say what really happened that night. MH370's disappearance wasn't just an aviation incident. It became a living enigma. Years passed. Theories kept changing. Technology kept evolving. But one thing never changed: the existence of this mystery. Was it a hijacking? Did someone take control inside the cockpit? Or did some unknown malfunction silently take the aircraft down into the ocean? As many people, as many stories, as many agencies, as many files. And in between all of them, one thing remained constant: confusion. When the whole world has satellites, radars, black boxes, and supercomputers, and still can't find a Boeing 777, then it's a silent slap to technology. Whenever the name MH370 is mentioned, a helpless silence appears on the faces of aviation experts. This case always reminds us that no matter how much data we have, some mysteries can only be uncovered with time, or maybe never at all. This disappearance also became a warning that no matter how much progress we humans make, there is always a limit to our understanding and control, and some things will always remain beyond human comprehension. When people talk about MH370, they don't just think about the plane, they think about life. How everything can be perfectly fine in one moment and completely vanish in the next. This case doesn't just raise questions for the aviation industry. It's a reflection for every human being. Have we really understood everything? Should every mystery be solved? And most importantly, when answers don't come, should we decide to stop searching? MH370 is still out there beneath the ocean, or somewhere between our memories. But until the answer comes, this story will stay alive. And if the unsolved mystery of MH 370 has shaken you to your core, then there's another story that won't let you sleep at night. A killer hidden in the shadows of London, whose face the world never saw. Bodies kept turning up, but the name never did. Who was Jack the Ripper? Watch now and lose yourself in another mystery, still locked inside police files to this day.